Hi everyone. Our lorry drivers are sometimes called the knights of the road, and that's true in the majority of cases. But I think the 5% who probably let them down are the worst possible drivers that we see on our roads today. The size and weight of these vehicles makes any action that they perform potentially lethal.
As part of it, there'll be 500 new ambulances across England, more patients being treated on the scene. So Keir Starmer says people in Scotland have voted for change. Labour's got another MSP after winning the Hamilton by-election. It had been thought it was going to be a two-horse race between the SNP and...
A lack of concentration for me, but this shows you exactly how scary trucks can be.
Oh my shit! In hell! I thought I was a gunner then.
Obviously not the UK, but poor planning and late sudden movements like this are absolutely lethal. It was just really lucky that there was no one behind and to the side of my viewer. Terrible driving. I'm sure foreign lorry drivers on our roads account for a large percentage of the problems we encounter, just as our drivers will cause problems on the continent. This practice of going all the way round the outside of a roundabout is common in mainland Europe. Look out for it and do exactly what my viewer does. Holds back. There was even a nice delay until my viewer realised the blue lorry was definitely going to go ahead. Great driving, but not from all of the drivers in the most dangerous vehicles. In your experience, what type of road user is most likely to get triggered when you use all the road space in a merged situation, just like this? I would like to mention my viewer should have submitted and gone in behind the lorry, but I totally understand how some people don't like letting bullies win. Then this plum starts throwing his hands about. I've always said a small car with a relatively small engine, but a lightweight one, is the most fun one, and my nephew's recently purchased one of these Lotus Elises. This car vertical report shows a pretty similar car, but in red. He's got a blue one, but this one unfortunately has had quite a bit of a bump. My nephew was lucky to find that the first car that he looked at was the one that he ended up purchasing. It's not always going to be the case though. Quite often you're going to have to check out multiple vehicles. The extra hidden information that these car vertical reports show up could be your decision maker. This lease was damaged in 2018, and in fact it was written off as a Category S. But the timeline shows it looks as though it's been repaired and it's back on the road, and it's had a number of successful MOTs since then. When you go to see a car in a garage, it's all been polished and clean, and you don't see the hidden factors that these car vertical reports can show up. You can check one car using the code Ashley and it can save yourself 20%. But what if you need to check more than one car? Well, this is where you get an even bigger discount. Use the same code Ashley and you can save yourself 50%. The links are always in the description. Thanks, Car Vertical. Here comes another arm-waving plum, just because my viewer creates a little bit more acceleration room for themselves. I think my viewer sticking to the speed limit had a little bit to do with this also. What he also obviously doesn't realise that the closer he gets, the less view my viewer's got to get out onto the main carriageway. It also always surprises me how little some lorry drivers understand about creating space allows better flow for everyone. They're time limited as well. Another foreign lorry driver, but that's no excuse. This is just lazy driving. There's plenty of room to stay in lane. It's a good job my viewer sussed the danger and held back. Terrible. There's less room on this bend, but they keep it within the lines. Just. Just remember, you're not going to get sideswiped by one of these idiots if you're not next to them. How they do this next roundabout proves the last roundabout wasn't just a one-off. I'm bigger than you, you're going to wait for me. Now, don't get me wrong, it is difficult for lorry drivers to get out on busy roundabouts, so you do need to be accommodating and help out. Look at the length of this next truck. Imagine if you waited till there was a gap big enough. You'd be there all day. Again, nice driving by my viewer. The last two clips were okay from the lorry drivers. This one definitely isn't. This one's a first-class bully. I'm going and you're stopping.
Scott says it is broad because it's more just a discussion. He's not giving any answers. He's just sort of
Then throws his hands up to say, what's the problem?
bringing things up.
At least this next guy has the backbone to hold his hand up and say sorry for his mistake. The bullying nature of some lorry drivers is the biggest danger in my opinion, but they'll give the excuse because we're rushed on time. That's no excuse. This lorry driver should have abandoned their move out, but instead they just carry on. Again, they don't care. I'll take it back. They used the hazard lights, so everything was fine.
oh, wrong. Right, enough. Okay.
This guy couldn't care less either. He just wants to hold his mate's hand and follow him. Another very common sight. Lorry drivers' refusal to slow down and allow someone to merge. They don't have to, don't forget.
Kurwa mać! Dickhead.
For being so-called professionals, I get sent in loads of clips of them getting directions wrong and leaving exits late. More than likely another sat-nav read fail on unfamiliar roads. But why sit right next to the car and then put your signal on and be asked to be let in? Again, more bullying tactics. I know this junction very well and the signage is very good. Don't forget to allow some leeway for the foreign lorry drivers though. It's a difficult task when you can read all the signs anyway. This one's a very basic error that I wouldn't expect one of my learner drivers to make, but it was too difficult for this lorry driver to work out. Both road markings are going ahead at this point. If you were in that middle lane, would you try and go right? I know I wouldn't. This next lorry driver probably shouldn't have gone past my viewer, but they go for the next car as well. Don't forget though, they're allowed to, because they've got limited time on a tacho. Be even more vigilant around the foreign trucks, because don't forget the driver's sat on the opposite side of the cab to where you are most of the time.
I know it's on flight aware, but there's like hundreds of planes around us. It's hard to know which one is which, because like, some of them have come from Heathrow and some from Stansted. Oh my god, you are joking.
I just saw his indicator out of the corner of my eye.
That last one was not a mistake. Once a twonk, always a twonk, but you're in charge of a 44-ton lorry.
I was like, is he indicating? God.
Look at him!
Oh my god.
That is terrible.
That's amazing.
The first driver prize goes to.
The Volkswagen Golf that followed was nearly as bad. But remember, our UK lorry drivers are much better. Lorries are often a little wide for some UK roads. But that shouldn't be much of a problem if the lorry driver and the oncoming vehicles take appropriate care. This is exactly what happened here. And also don't forget to be accommodating where possible when you're near an arched bridge. I'm not going to mention a cyclist, I would have triggered the lorry drivers enough with this video. Way too fast with that width of road and the bend. This was similar, and there was some sort of collision. I'm not sure whether something fell off or it was the lorry.
Oh my god. Are you serious? Are you serious? What is that?
No collision on this one, but it was close.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
As I always say, it's not the vehicle you operate, it's the person operating it. But when rules are broken and driving gets careless, everything's worse because it's a lorry, and it's simply because of the damage that can be done. Any driver can get in the wrong lane at a roundabout, but you're never going to win in a fight with a lorry. People will always pull out in front of you. But if you react in this way, if you're driving a lorry, it can become lethal. Everything's bigger on a lorry, including the full beam lights.
Bruh, okay, yeah, fuck you.
Do you think because of the dead ground the lorry driver couldn't see my viewer? When you leave your boot open in the car, your goods might fall out, but if this happens, you could take someone's head off. Jumping a red light in any vehicle's terrible, but it's even worse in a lorry. And just as the red light jumping, tailgating is awful in any vehicle. But again, it's even worse with a lorry, and especially in these conditions. If you lose concentration while operating a lorry, the risks are amplified. And even more so when the lorry's heading towards you. When a lorry driver speeds and something goes wrong, the results can be catastrophic. Have a look at the speed in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. This lorry driver is doing 70 miles per hour. Is that the pressure of time restrictions, do you think? Remember, lorry drivers and lorries are placed right at the top of the driving hierarchy, and this was put in place to protect the more vulnerable. But like with most of the rules implemented over 4 years ago, I don't think they've had any effect whatsoever. I know this clip isn't from the UK, but just remember, when there is an accident involving a lorry, it's always bigger. If you're driving around lorries, please take extra care, and if you operate lorries, take even more. Keep safe, I'll see you soon.